Hi guys, so today I'm going to try out the Crafter's Companion Layout Collection, I guess birthday or numbers, I don't even know what they called this one. Autoship, I don't even know which number it is in the Autoship, but I will look that up and then I'll have that in the title so you know which one. This is the one that got mixed up for people that either they didn't receive it, they received two, I don't know, and I'm very sorry about that, but I'm going to try it out today because I've been trying to use, as they come in, but I usually wait and see if HSN has them, like extra ones, and they don't, so I'm just going to go for it on this one. If there's anything I can link in the description box, that would be, affiliate links, that I will go ahead and link them, and that would mean that I make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I know right now the initial collection, this whole thing, is on like a super clearance sale on HSN site, but other than that, I haven't seen any of the auto ships come in, so maybe if you're interested, maybe they'll have them on Crafter's Companion's site itself, I don't know. But the way this is set up is they kind of build off each other, so some of the items they might ask you to use, and I already did a whole unboxing of this. If I can find that video, I'll link in the description box. I think I did a whole unboxing, like went through everything. Oh, there it is. How funny. I didn't have a 9. I thought, well, maybe the 6 is the 9, but there is a 9. So there it is. Okay. I kind of feel like I remember looking through these papers. They're not the prettiest papers, but some of these patterns are crazy, but I do like some of these other ones. So we'll see what we can do today. But anyway, what I mean that builds up on each other is that maybe here they're going to ask you to use a shape, like these guys, the circle and the scallop circle, that came in the first iteration, or maybe one of the second or third, auto ships. I haven't really noticed that as much. I feel like they always refer back to the initial package, right? So that's good, because if you skip some of them, then you're not going to be able to make these things. But again, for me, these recipes, like what you're looking at right here, is just a way of thinking about how you can set up your card and that looks nice, It's a little odd with this little tag here, but let's say you have some other circle or an oval or something, but it takes up about that much on your slim line. Looks like maybe a mini slim line. And then maybe a couple little squares. And that doesn't have to be exactly these squares. It could be anything that you have, a couple of different embellishment pieces. It's just kind of showing you a way to make this look nice so it's balanced, right? So it doesn't have to necessarily be from this kit. Anyhow, I went to grab the initial one, I had them all together, and then I was like, oh, I didn't even put this away from the last time I did a tutorial using this one. So let me open this up. I haven't really been storing everything the way I should. I think I've been popping in the... Have I? Have I not even done that? Maybe I haven't done that either. I think I've been popping in the different sets as they came in, but I guess not. So anyway, let me find where this belongs. I'll pop this in, and then we'll continue on with today's tutorial. I guess I can show you guys real quick. If you haven't, or let's say you're picking up the layout collection, you have this set, but you're not sure how to open this up, you just pop this this way, so it gets loose, and then you roll it over here, get to where you want, or just open it up. I mean, it depends on, I guess, what you're doing. And then you're supposed to use this little lever here. Now, when this first arrived, the lever was not right, so I had to fix it. And in that very first video, I showed you guys how to fix it. So if yours for some reason isn't working, maybe check out that video. And then, you can just pop in your papers, and I just pop that one in. So I just want to show you guys that, and then it closes back up. And go right back over. And that's that. So the first iteration was called Layout Collection 1. Even, I'm not talking about the initial one, right? The initial kit is just is stamps, it's layout collection, but the first iteration does say stamps 1, so actually I guess that stamps 2. Okay, so this was the second part, and then I can put all this stuff into my binder, and you're supposed to put your dies on here, your stamps on here, which I haven't really been doing, is what I was trying to say. But let's put this to the side, and then the initial dies and all that you're supposed to put on a carrier that came with the initial collection, and I still haven't done that either because I just keep them all in here. So, I don't know. I just like putting them back in the box. But it did come with a ton. So honestly, at the pricing they have right now, I think it's like 60 bucks maybe, or 50, 60, something like that. It's pretty good, right? The initial time I think we bought it was over $100, wasn't it? I don't know. So, let me go through these guys. And we'll choose one. I think last time I used number 1. So let me just not choose number 1. This is okay. I like the little stuff going around. That's kind of cute. You want to do this one? Let's do this one. just because it has a few different pieces. I mean, this is very cute too. And again, all this stuff, you just kind of see what you have in your stash and it'll work with your recipe. So I'll show you that one today. So what do we need? Oh, we need the paper that's right here on top. Again, if you want to make it exactly like they're showing. If not, you know, grab stuff from your stash. It's just a way of making a nice balanced card. Now, having said that, cut a piece of colored card 38.825 by 4.825 and blend ink over edges attached to 4x6 card blank. Okay, that's what I was trying to see, like what size card we need. So we need this guy. And then we're taking the lighter pink one, which I guess is this one. I'm not really into inking things up, but you know what? We'll try it. Let me put those to the side for right now. Let me grab a card base. I don't think, did we get card bases in the very first iteration? I don't remember seeing them. But if not, I have tons of 4x6s from the old Crafter's Companion boxes, the sub boxes. They used to have A2 size and they went to 4x6 and never went back. So I have tons of them, but yeah, no, it was just tons of paper to begin with and stuff like that. All right, let me go grab a card base. I'll be right back. First, I'm like, I have tons of 4x6s. The only packs I can find of the Crafter's Companion ones that I have at least in here, like where I'm keeping a bunch of card blanks, were all A2 size. So if you're making your own 4x6, you want a piece of paper that's 8x6 and you score it at 4 inches. These actually open at the top, and that's fine. That'll be kind of an interesting card that still opens this way, you know. Actually, you can orient this in the other direction if you wanted. You know, just something to think about. I'm just going to cut this down. I think this is 5x7. I didn't even measure. I can pretty much tell. Yeah, it's 5x7. So I'm just going to cut it off at 4. I bought this little guillotine. I don't even know. Like, probably 15, 20 years ago. I don't really use it. It was in my garage and I was like, oh. And I honestly never use it. Like, even after I first bought it. So let's see how it does. That's not too bad. Okay, so 4x6. Okay, that's the challenge. It doesn't have, you know, an arm or anything like that. But I'll put it this way and I'll cut 2 inches off of here because this is the 7. Oh, 2 inches. See, I was gonna mess that up, wasn't I? 4x6. Okay. All right, holding it tight. That's so funny. It was pretty much one of the first guillotines I ever had, and I never really used it because it, you know, it's so small. It was really more for cropping pictures. Oh, you know what? Will it work for us here? The numbers might be kind of funny. Let's see. So we have that. We have our 4x6. This one we're supposed to cut at 3x825, which is basically, if you look at these numbers, and I know they're funky, and if you do 3 3/4, that's 3.75. And so this is basically 3 7/8 of an inch. So they're doing 1/8 inch matte layers. So 3, and I just want to make sure that this is doing its thing. So 1/4 would be here and that would be there. So 3 7/8 by 5.825. Now that's going to be the difficult one for me to work out on here, but let's see. How big is this? An 8-inch piece of paper? Okay, so 8-inch piece of paper, and I need it 5.8. So if it was 2 off, right, that would be 6 inches, and we need that 5.8 something. So I'm going to cut it at 2 1/8. The math should work. See, I didn't have to really do math, just kind of think of it logically in that one. So there you go. Nice tight matte layer. This does make a sound that probably isn't super pleasant on a video, I don't know. And then 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. So 3 1/4. That's very small. It's gonna be kind of skinny, right? Did I read that right? Yep, 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that means I'm gonna chop off. Let's see, 2 inches would make it 6 inches, right? And we want 5 1/4, so let's think about that one. Is that correct? Does that seem right? It's gonna be really small. So we're gonna hold it really tight, and let's hope that that was correct. I don't know, I guess, sure. So if I was just cutting off the excess, it was 2 3/4 I was cutting off to leave 5 1/4 in the other area. And then it looks like we have some leaves we need to cut. Would be nice if they can come off of this, but I don't think so. We're gonna have to grab some white paper from our stash, because I don't believe they included white paper. I don't recall it being in the first iteration either. Again, I don't really do a lot of inking, so I don't know. It looks cute. Obviously they're just telling you to ink it up. They don't, you know, tell you what color. It's just like a pink. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me grab a dauber and put away some of this paper and stuff so we can start cleaning up this area. And I'll be right back. Let's grab this. This. And use this here. Oh, not that side. Maybe this one. And I'm using a dauber like this. I haven't used that in a while. I usually use like a blending brush. But for this kind of application, I like the way a little foam brush goes around the edges. Foam brush. You know what I mean. Foam applicator. And that is Blossom ink from Diamond Press Colors. If that's available on Diamond Press's site, I'll link it in the description box. And you guys know with Diamond Press I have a 10% off code that you can use every day for 10% off your purchase. Okay. And it looks like we're just gluing those down. So I'll simply just glue them down. And again, my card opens this way, which is really kind of interesting. But what I was saying is with these guys, if they're balanced, you should be able to do the card this way or this way, and it still makes sense, you know? Obviously, these things move somewhere else, well, what they're showing you. But generally with a recipe, you're supposed to be able to turn it in different ways and it should still look right. But anyhow, okay. Ooh, I see something tricky coming up. It says when you die cut numbers, colored card, and black card. Attach numbers to a white card using the colored card from center. Okay, we'll see. Alright, I'll glue the other one right on top of this, centered. Right on top of here, and I'll be right back. We have our base down. I think I did that pretty straight. Next thing they're asking you to do is die cut 3 leaves from white card. So again, you know, if you have whatever dies in your stash that give you like a little leaf shape or just like little flourishes or whatever it is, groups of 3 are always nice looking. I'm assuming that's this one. Yep. So again, it's from the very first layout collection, the actual first one, right? Not the first auto ship. And it wants me to cut 3 of these guys out of white paper, so I will do that. And funny enough, in the next part we are going to need a strip of paper, so I'm like, oh, this might work, the piece that I cut off initially from my card base. But I'll run this through 3 times and I'll be right back. So when I was kind of peeking ahead, actually this strip is not going to work. It's only 1 inch, and they need a 1 3/4 inch strip, and I think I mean, it might work. Well, now, you know what? I'll use it anyway. That way we can save some paper, and it doesn't really need to be 1 3/4. You know, if you want to do it, you can do what they're showing you. When I was reading ahead, what they want you to do in the next part, because the numbers, the way they cut out, is that it's going to have an outside portion that cuts at the same time as this inner portion. Do you see how they have metal edges? So it cuts away. So they're saying to do that, inlay them the way you want, but on a piece of white cardstock, and then cut around it, which is kind of interesting because how they get that middle section popped out. That's a real pain. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick it to my card. I don't care if they're on dimensionals or not. So they put on dimensionals. That's why you need to put on a background like paper, right, to hold those 2 pieces together, especially with the 8. You have those middle sections, and we'll talk about it in a minute. It'll make more sense once we actually get there. But I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. And there's a lot of these guys, and you know, you can use a different color. It doesn't have to be white. It's kind of interesting the way they glue them down there. Let me cut this down to the 6-inch strip that I'm going to need, and I'll be right back. I just want to have that piece to kind of help me see where it might be. It's going to be like here, and know where I want to glue these guys down to. Okay. This is one thing I was thinking about. The white, if I use the card base, and this other this paper right here is like Hobby Lobby paper. This came from the card base, and you see how they're different colors of white. So if that drives you nuts, don't do it. Just make sure you have the same paper for both pieces. Again, that's going to be like there-ish. Maybe move this up a little bit more. And I don't even know what number to use. I'm like, okay, this is obviously like a more feminine card. And what's the next age of somebody coming up that I can send them this card? So I'll have to think about that. Oh, hold on. I think a big 5-0 is coming up in our family. So maybe I'll do that. Okay. I'm not going to say who we don't put people on blast if they don't want their birthday years out of there or out there. Let's see here. All right. Maybe like 50, not me. Okay. Let's see. All right. So that's that. Let me get some ink so we can stamp the next part and go from there. So the next thing is, again, it's supposed to be 6 inches by 1 3/4. I don't really think it's 1 3/4 because if you look at that image, can you imagine if this is almost double? That'd be really thick. I think there's a typo there. But okay, so I'm just doing 1 inch. And then we need the birthday and I guess the TH for 50th, right? I was thinking about heat setting this, I don't know. Maybe I won't. But heat embossing, you know, would be really nice. Just to make it a little more something. Yeah, because even the way I'm putting birthday on here, you can imagine how much is on top and at the bottom. I don't think that's almost double this with the paper. But anyway. Okay, and then we need the TH. But I would also like to know just about where this TH needs to be because obviously we don't want to run out of card and have the numbers off to the side. That doesn't work. So let me grab the 5 and the 0 and I'll be right back. I'm just going to pop them out of their carriers. Of course, the recipes are written in a way that obviously you're not going to stick this down and then do the stamping. But it doesn't really say, hey, make sure you're accommodating your numbers, right? So I want to keep that in mind. Obviously these have a little bit of a lip. But I think that's okay. That's going to help us out. So we have the 5 and the 0. I just want to make sure that they are going to be on here right. That is crazy. How tight that is. Okay, so it's going to be right at the edge, possibly. So this needs to be pretty close here. And they have it all lined up basically on the same plane. So I mean, if you want to make your TH higher, that's up to you. I feel like it should be higher like this. And if that wants to still be in the very center, that's fine. So I'm changing that part up. But of course you can copy whatever it is. I'm trying to see how... Okay. Alright. Ooh. It might not stamp because of the way my paper is right here. Hold on. Want to make sure that that's actually going to stamp off the plastic edge there. And let's see if this is nice and straight. That's pretty good. Sorry, guys. And I'm using my Mark ink. I love that for sentiments, for thin lines. It's really, really great. I mean, look at that. Okay, I'm going to clean this up, not touch that because it'll definitely smear. Then that's kind of what I was saying. I would probably heat set it just to move on, but it also looks nicer. Anyway, I'll be right back. These to the side for right now. I went ahead and grabbed that coral color from the kit, which you know I love. You're going to run the 5 and the 0 through both colors because you're going to need the part that falls out and the part that looks like the border. So through your pink or coral and through black, which again, I don't believe it comes with, so I just grabbed black from my stash. So I'll run those through after I stick this down right now. I mean, you can have all your pieces and then put everything together. I'm just going by what their steps, okay? And about here, and they are using coral and they are, you know, lining it in black. I mean, I feel like brown would be really pretty with this gold, right? You don't have to do what they're showing you, but I kind of try to show you how to follow along and what they're using. I mean, you're just eyeballing this at this point. That looks pretty good. Again, I'm not going to rub my hand too much on the black ink that I'm sure is still wet. Let me run my numbers through and I'll be right back. Okay, so these numbers are really fun and odd. So basically these pieces came out of here. And this one might be flipped upside down because I shook it out. And you're going to need to keep those outlines and then one of the centers. Now they're using the black for the outline, so we'll use that. And I know it's kind of hard to see. I'll close up a little bit for you guys. Maybe I'll put on some white paper just so you can see it a little better. Here we go. And I know someone's going to say, oh, they're not... I know what someone's going to say. I'll show you right now. So what they're saying is, take your numbers, and I need the black outline. And of course I can save this for something else. They look nice just the way they are. We do have this piece that you don't need because there's no reason for that center of the 0. with this guy. And what they're saying is to go ahead and piece these together, to glue them on a white piece of paper like this, right? This white piece of paper. That way it holds it together. And then they want you to fussy cut around that, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to stick these to my card base the way they are, but I'll probably do the outline. No, I'll probably, I don't know if I'm going to do the outline first of the number. I need to look at this. Hold on, where's the thicker part is up top. Okay, yeah, I have it right. And then, yeah. So basically like this. So what they're saying in the instruction is to glue it to a piece of paper like this and then fussy cut around, and then, oh, the middle is just automatically gone. I don't know if you see that here. Like, oh, how miraculous. Someone took an X-Acto to cut that. And I know someone's going to say, just run the number through and then use that. But no, the whole point is that they fall apart, right? So if I ran this through white paper, right, yeah, you're going to have your hole, but there's nothing there to hold it together. So what they want you to do is put it on a solid piece of white paper and then cut it out. And if you want to do that, you know, great. But I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to put this here. Let me clean up a little bit, guys. I'll be right back. This might be a little bit tricky because we have this. We want to stick this down. Now I'm thinking maybe I do stick down the actual letters, the numbers, excuse me, first. And leave them a little bit of room, but I can kind of eyeball to see what that would look like. So let's see how they have that. You have to have a little extra room for that. And then where this guy's going to be at. Gonna be a little closer. Okay, I'm gonna put the 0 down first. Glue. That's what I'll do. We'll just glue this guy down first and then arrange him. And then where the 5 is doesn't really matter that much. And they have it kind of... That is so weird to me. Their sizing is definitely not what they're stating on there. I'm just going to put this right here, kind of right in the middle of the band. But you saw that this paper was 1 inch wide. They're saying it should be 1 3/4 inches wide. And then supposedly this is going to be big enough to go up to the top and also come down under the matte layer. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no way impossible, like no way, especially if this was 1 3/4 inches. Can you imagine it be this thick? Something's not right. I think what they wanted maybe is 3/4 inches. Maybe just a 0.75, like a 0.7. That might make more sense because look how close this is. And look, I still have extra room. So obviously a typo there, and I should probably just fix that. So just if you're going to do the same, I would say 0.75, which is basically 3/4 of an inch. Makes much more sense, especially the way it looks. And the way this would look, right? So I'm going to finish up the 0 like I had said. And too bad there's a typo on there. Again, that's kind of why for me I eyeball those kinds of recipes, because if you look at it you're like, oh, it's kind of a thin line. Even thinner than what I was expecting. Okay, so we're going to place this guy on here. It's not a perfect match. You know, when you slide things through a die cutting machine, it kind of stretches, and it might stretch in a way that's not the same every time, right? Your paper or the die shifts a little bit or something weird. Okay, so I'm going to hold that guy. Looks cute. I'm going to hold that for a moment and I'll be right back. I was just kind of massaging this little line so it gets closer. You know, so it's right on there. There you go. So you can account for a little of that wonkiness. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my 5 down. It looks like it has a little bit of area that might come this way, but I think it'll be fine. And again, I'm trying to line it up with the other one, just like about here. Before I really push that down, I want to see how much edge I have there. Okay, so let's move that over just a little bit. That's good. Oh, don't come with me. Stay right there. Alright. I'm going to hold that for a second before I move into this other portion, because it just wants to come. And then we have some little pennants that we're going to cut out and put at the very top, so that's cool. This guy's a little bit wonky. There and there. And of course I would find the instruction that has a typo, right? That's just how it is here. But that's good, again, because we can kind of talk about it, and when you go to do it, you'll know that that's incorrect. And then maybe to check out your other numbers when you are looking at making other cards in case there are other ones that are incorrect. But again, just your intuition looking at it and being like, that seems kind of thick if it's supposed to be almost 2 inches, right? Looking at the stamp and everything. Okay, so again, I kind of coached it, shaped it to where I want it to be. And this one too, it's a little bit big, but that's alright. Alright, I'm going to hold that down and I'll be right back. So that is essentially our card, and again, mine opens this way. You can make this a belly band, that'd be cute, just to make it a little something more fun, and then just slide it off and the person still has their card, you know? But, okay, so we have the 50th on there, and we're supposed to bring this colors back to make our little bunting, which I'm assuming those dies are probably in the first iteration somewhere. There's going to be some kind of, oh, it's the one we just used here. Decorative embellishment dies, so it's this one. Again, when I mean the initial collection, I mean the box, the very first one. Autoship 1 would be Autoship 1, right? And this is what we're working with is Autoship 2. And I just got Autoship 3 in the mail, and I unboxed it a couple days ago, right? So I will work on that one soon too, because honestly it doesn't look like they're ever going to really bring them back to HSN if they have any extras. So I'm going to cut this guy out and then 2 more from the coral, and I'll be right back. So we have our 3 bits, and it does say these were supposed to be adhered again with dimensionals because they're supposed to be like on a white background. And then it says to adhere these with some dimensionals too at the top corner, it says. Which I assume, sorry. So as I'm reading it does say to attach to the top corner. What they mean is the top corner here. I thought they meant just dimensionals with the top corner. You know, I do like doing things where it's like puffy and then maybe glued down right here so it has a dimension, but then it doesn't hurt anything, or it can just be all dimensional. So however you want to do that, I'll put 3 on each one of these little guys and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I probably should have paid more attention to where I placed them to begin with so that I won't mess this part up. They have them kind of more like this, which is interesting. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sticking that down quite yet. Because if they go this way, I mean, okay. Trying to get it more this way. That's so cute. Okay. They have it a lot more kind of splayed out like that. Okay. So I start with the one, and then the other, and the other. Oh, that one's off the page. That's not what we're looking for so much. Okay. Alright guys, there is our card step by step. Again, a little bit of typo in there, and I could, yeah, this definitely would look a little more nuanced if there was another 1/4 inch taken off of there. But there it is. You know, we did our best. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope, you know, that showed you kind of how you look at them. Again, you know, let's say this isn't a 50th birthday card, it's just a card with a cute little, you know, sash down the center here, maybe even a ribbon. You have some kind of die cut here, and then a cute little bunting in the corner. Lots of ways to replicate this with other things, right? It doesn't have to be exactly these items, and that's the whole point of a recipe card or a sketch, or however you want to look at them or call them. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you received yours, and I'm sorry and I'm bummed out for the people who, I don't even know what happened. It was some huge mix-up, and apparently it was happening kind of often with other things too. So I'm sure Crafter's Companion has figured that out because it was coming from their warehouse. All right, guys. I'll have images coming up. I'll have links as appropriate in the description box, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.